Cory Devontae Williams, better known as CoryxKenshin, is one of YouTube's biggest creators. From a small-town kid in Michigan to becoming one of YouTube's most beloved personalities, how did Cory achieve his monumental rise to fame? Where did his story start, and what personal challenges did he face along the way? This is the rise of CoryxKenshin, aka the Shogun. To understand Cory's inevitable success on the platform, we have to first look at his beginnings. Cory was born on November 9th, 1992 in Detroit, Michigan. Cory grew up an avid gamer, who would often spend a lot of time playing games on his PlayStation. Games like Resident Evil would leave a lasting impression on Cory, sparking his interest in the genre of horror.
Oh my gosh, I've played through all of the Resident Evils except for 3, and I've gotten halfway through this one.
Cory's love for video games would then translate into him watching gaming-related content on a fairly new website known as YouTube.com. However, what really inspired him to create content was a YouTuber by the name of ND Titan Lady. In a video titled, "Who is your favorite YouTuber?" Cory would go on to explain that one of his favorite content creators was ND Titan Lady, who back in 2009 was an early pioneer of YouTube content. Her videos primarily focused on telling relatable stories or experiences that resonated with viewers, often in a comedic way.
Horrid, but this dude was crazy rude. I mean, let me just show you. So this is how it all threw down. Okay, let's go.
This format of videos would resonate with Cory as it did with many of her viewers at the time. Cory would later create his own channel on YouTube on April 26, 2009. He would upload his first video titled Girls in Particular on May 25th, 2009, only a month after creating his new channel. And in this video, he would go on to discuss his experience with girls in particular.
And my heart had been screwed with plenty at a time. And let me tell you, it does not feel good.
Yeah, let's mess with Cory's heart, girls. Yeah, yeah. All he wants to do is care for girls. Yeah, loser. Woo. Yeah, I'm gonna be on Jerry Springer. Woo. Yeah. Oh, Cory is such a noob for caring for girls. Oh my God.
From there, Cory would post sporadically, focusing on mainly doing skits. It wouldn't be until October 25th, 2013 where he would post his first gaming video. This gaming video would be on an indie horror game called White Finger. Little did he know that this video would be the start of something much bigger. White Finger marked a turning point in Cory's channel and marked the beginning of horror-related videos on his channel. Cory's natural charisma and genuine reaction to the game's eerie atmosphere and the game's jump scares began to resonate with his viewers. His reaction to the game made it feel less scary and more entertaining. There was both an eerie and comedic feel to the video. Although the game White Finger saw a shift in Cory's content towards horror-related content, which became his niche on YouTube, he wouldn't gain much traction on the platform. This would be the case until the release of another indie horror game. This game would not only change the trajectory of Cory's channel, but it would mark a legacy far greater than what anyone expected. This game will be none other than Five Nights at Freddy's. 2014 marked the beginning of the Five Nights at Freddy's boom, as that's when the game first released. Notable YouTubers at the time like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye started to make content around the game. Cory would take notice of this and eventually began to make his own Five Nights at Freddy's walkthrough series. On August 12th, 2014, Cory would upload his first FNAF video. He would then go on to upload a total of 7 videos, each exploring one of the nights that you must survive in Five Nights at Freddy's. Not only would this video series begin to reach momentum on YouTube and would be seen by millions of people, but it would also gain the attention from Scott Cawthon, the developer of FNAF. He would go on to make several comments under Cory's FNAF videos, encouraging him to go further with the game and make more videos. And on completion of the 6th night, Scott would congratulate Cory. This marked the beginning of a relationship between Cory and Five Nights at Freddy's developer Scott Cawthon. To Cory, this game wouldn't be just a few viral videos. It was much more than that. This game became sort of a connection between him and the general YouTube audience who now took an interest in Cory's journey on the platform. 2014 was also the year that Cory reached an important milestone in his career. He reached 10,000 subscribers on the platform. People now knew who Cory was, and his presence on the platform started to become known. With this, he really started to showcase himself and who he was to the general YouTube audience. 2014 would essentially lay the foundations for the type of content that we know and love Cory for. Only a year after achieving 10,000 subscribers, Cory would go on to achieve one of the most important milestones for any YouTuber. He would finally obtain 100,000 subscribers. And not only did Cory get congratulated on this monumental achievement from the general YouTube audience, but Scott Cawthon would also go on to congratulate Cory on achieving 100k subscribers. And from this point on, the only place Cory could go was up. 2016 was a busy year for Cory, and another monumental year for him. Cory would go on to meet none other than Scott Cawthon at a real-life Freddy Fazbear attraction. Only 2 years prior, Cory was an up-and-coming YouTuber who struggled to establish himself until he played Five Nights at Freddy's, which effectively helped him achieve his breakout success. And now he was meeting the developer of the game, which helped him establish himself on the platform. Following this pivotal event, Cory would go on to achieve another huge milestone. By the end of 2016, Cory would finally reach 1 million subscribers. 1 million subscribers is a huge milestone for any YouTuber, and this wouldn't go unnoticed by Cory or people in his community. YouTubers like Poised, 8-Bit Ryan, Yub, who were long-standing friends with Cory, would also go on to congratulate Cory for his monumental success, as achieving 1 million subscribers on YouTube is no easy feat. It's evident that 2016 was a year of momentum for Cory. It was the year in which he achieved 1 million subscribers. However, Cory would begin his pattern of hiatuses the same year. You see, early in 2016, Cory had taken a short break for 73 days, citing that he experienced burnout from creating content for such a long time.
I kept growing and growing and growing. I could feel like the essence of, where I originated. I could feel it fading. It's really hard to explain, but I knew that the fire needed to be rekindled.
However, when it was time for Cory to return to YouTube, there was something that prevented him from returning. You see, he had instilled doubts, and these doubts would be a huge crutch, preventing him from returning sooner. To understand what these doubts were, Cory felt that there would be repercussions for him leaving, and this caused him not to want to return. He felt that if he returned to his audience, he would receive backlash from them for being gone for such a long time, and he felt burdened by the thought of disappointing his audience as well as not being able to entertain them.
Unsubbing and this, that, and the other, and I completely understand. In fact, I don't blame those people, because to them, I'm nothing but someone who can't even keep their word. And I acknowledge that there have been so many times where I wanted to make like a video schedule.
But little did Cory know that he had a community that was much more resilient and understanding than he had originally thought. When Cory returned that same year, he was met with a pool of positivity as well as encouragement from his audience. Cory would then later apologize for this hiatus, expressing his gratitude towards all the blessings his audience has provided him, as well as their continued support and commitment.
For that, right off the bat, I want to apologize for not having faith in my own community, that you guys wouldn't welcome me back, just because of some stuff that I've been hearing.
What Cory realized from this experience is that his audience is much more resilient than he had originally thought. This type of support and commitment Cory would receive from his audience would only continue to grow as time went on. Following Cory's patterns of breaks, every subsequent year, Cory would take a notable break. At this point, Cory taking hiatuses wasn't something that was unfamiliar to his audience. And in fact, it should be encouraged that creators do take breaks so they have time to rejuvenate. However, there were a few times where Cory's hiatuses brought a lot of concerns to his audience. For example, June 28, 2019 to April 3rd, 2020 marked one of Cory's longest breaks. This break lasted 9 months.
I've been gone. I've been gone for 9 months.
Then another notable break was from March 7th to August 26, 2021. This break led him towards his 10 million subscriber mark. Following this, Cory would then upload a video titled "Regarding My Retirement." In this video, Cory confirmed that he would not be retiring, despite the speculation that was circulating at this time that he would retire. Cory would then go on to confirm that he would not retire at 10 million subscribers.
There's no possible way that I can retire.
And from there on, Cory would go on to upload and take breaks as needed. From December 23rd, 2021 to February 26th, 2022, and from April 10th, 2022 to August 8th, 2022 were both noticeable breaks that he took. And from this point on, Cory would go on to post semi-consistently up until June 27th, 2023, where he would react to the Five Nights at Freddy's movie trailer. From there, he would take his longest break. This break will last up until December 13th, 2024. This break lasted around 18 months, which is about 1 year and 6 months. He would return from this break with a video titled "Hey, Long Time No See," and would go on to announce that he had been working on a manga behind the scenes called Monsters We Make. This was somewhat of a self-fulfilling prophecy for Cory, as during the early stages of his time on YouTube, Cory could be classified as somewhat of a weeb, a term which is coined to describe someone who has taken a keen interest in Japanese culture, anime, manga, etc. Now, years later, Cory is working on his own manga series. From being someone that was somewhat of a weeb to making his own manga series, that's a huge accomplishment. Cory has had a tumultuous journey through YouTube. His journey provides us with a glimpse of the struggles in maintaining consistency, as well as maintaining unwavering motivation. Despite this lack of consistency at times, one thing remains true about Cory. Cory always returns. Despite how long his hiatuses may last, his story is a lesson about remaining persistent despite being faced with a multitude of challenges, whether it be personal battles, discouragement, or even at times a lack of motivation. From a kid with big aspirations, making silly skits, to becoming one of YouTube's most respected and largest content creators, this is the rise of CoryxKenshin.